I'm the Clapper Loader. Welcome new subscribers. Welcome all of my growing fam. And without me, there are no films. So, today was my Eternals Day. And there's absolutely no way to avoid any negativity around the movie Eternals. And I watched it and I stayed neutral, but I was concerned with all of the negativity. And so let's do this. Let's talk spoilers, because there's no way to really get around it at this point. It's leaked all over YouTube. There's so many people, really burying this movie. They're throwing it in the compost. I think that we can talk maturely about it, but I will give my spoiler alert warning. Here it is. Spoiler alert. I will be talking spoilers for Eternals. Guys, look. I think at this point with Marvel, we have an expectation. I would say this, and I would throw myself in there too. I am spoiled. And I think a lot of the fandom is spoiled. We want to go into a Marvel movie and have them feed us the same thing they've fed us before. You want a Captain Marvel platter? Here you go. You want a Captain America platter? Here you go. You want a Black Panther platter? Here you go. We're looking for that. We're looking for familiarity. We're looking for similar film styles. And Eternals is nothing like that at all. As a matter of fact, that is why I love it. That's why I love Eternals. It's because it's not like the others. But because we are spoiled film goers, we watch new things with disdain. People don't like change. We don't like change. I can tell you of all of the reviews and all of the, back and forth I've heard about Eternals over the past 2 weeks, that I fell right into the category. I don't want to change. Shang-Chi was perfect. I can do that. I can do the CGI heavy ending and the transformed from boyhood to manhood story, kind of like Black Panther. I can handle that. But when you are doing something completely different, people, including myself, do not take kindly to that. Except that at this point, I did. I thought of Dune while I was watching the movie. And I thought about, if you go right now, I'm not going to go, but if you did right now, go to IMDb, go to Rotten Tomatoes and look up Dune 1984. I don't know what it stands at. I'm guessing it's rotten. I'm guessing. Maybe at this point it isn't. Maybe the current Dune 2021 has raised the tomato factor for tomato factor for Dune 1984. But I was there in 1984. Okay? I was there. I remember Dune. Going to the theater. My mother wouldn't let me go and watch it. And I remember how, I don't believe Siskel and Ebert, if you know those two, those were my kind of gurus of the time, because, obviously there wasn't an internet. So I was glued to the TV set from 1979 until the Siskel and Ebert show ended its syndication run. And then, of course, after Siskel's passing, it went on to be Ebert and Roper, and then a couple of other people kind of filled in. But the entire, from 1979 until what? When did it end? 2010, I think. I was watching Siskel and Ebert every week and recording them. But I don't recall them liking Dune. So at the time, in 84, they were my Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so tomatoes. Anyway, tomatoes. So they were my Rotten Tomatoes. And I was scared. I was scared to watch Dune because my guru said, don't watch it. It's horrible. From what I recall. It was not getting good reviews. It was not getting good press. It was tanking at the box office. So finally, they throw this thing onto cable. Now, mind you, I got cable in 1985, was it? I think. The very first movie, trivia, that I saw on cable was Clash of the Titans, 1981. I'll never forget that. But, so we have this Dune, 1984. No one liked it. It comes out on cable, and I absolutely love it. I love Dune 1984. And I know that people now, in hindsight, believe that, oh, it's kind of a messy thing. But I do hear a lot of people in hindsight appreciate the fact that this Dune exists. And that they really did their best with it. They did what they could. With the technology at the time not being where it is today. So, I did mention in another podcast that I don't believe that Dune 2021 would exist without Dune 1984. I think Dune 1984 gave it a boost. Now, that's where Eternals is going to end up. It's going to get beat up, bloodied, punched in the face, told it's crap, just like Dune 1984. And we're going to look back in hindsight, and we're going to go, uh-oh, I made a mistake. Maybe I did. Maybe I was unkind. Maybe I was unfair, because we're spoiled. We want our Marvel Cinematic Universe, our MCU, to be the flavor that they've basically been feeding us the whole time. We want our 3-act structure. We want our hero. We want our all of the things that come with Marvel movies that you know what I'm talking about. So we want all those things, and Eternals didn't give it to us, so we're mad. We are mad, mad, mad. I was so disappointed at the disappointment of Marvel fans. What is wrong with this film? If you don't like Eternals, please let me know why. I don't understand. Now, I will say this. I did not sleep a lot last night, so when I woke up this morning to go to the theater, I was a bit sleepy, but I've sat through Dune 1984 and Dune 2021, so I could stay awake. So there was one part that was in the forest, and it started to get a little, almost like almost like a little comforting and soothing and relaxing. And I started to doze off just a bit. But I could feel my eyes closing and my head nodding, and then I woke right up. So it's like, okay, no, I don't want to miss this. I'm looking for the bad parts. I'm looking for a way to go, this movie really does suck. Everyone's right. Okay. And that never came. Absolutely did not come. The movie is good. The movie is good. Now, is it perfect? No. I can think of so many things they could have done better. I'm sure many Marvel fans could. Film fans in general can think of 1,000 things they could have done better with this movie. But it's not, in my opinion, the dumpster trash that that it's being made out to be, as do 1984 was made out to be the same. Neither of the films are bad. I enjoyed every character. We follow Gemma Chan's Cersei. We're kind of like looking at the world through her eyes. And she is an Eternal. One thing I will say that I wish they were a little more clear on is all of the bouncing back and forth. We bounce from place to place to place, time to time to time through history. It was rather confusing, and you never knew, or I didn't know, when we were or where we were, because they never age. So it isn't like you go, from childhood to adulthood and know exactly where the character is in the timeline, because they look the same, whether it was 5,000 BC or today. That part I would have changed. But we do follow Cersei, and she is trying to live a normal life like they all are, all of the Eternals. And of course, there's no movie without the conflict. And so the conflict is getting back together to eradicate what they call deviants. And that whole storyline was interesting. I don't know. Am I going to do more spoilers? Deviants are the monsters that you see in the trailer. There you go. So you've got these 10 characters. Got Cersei, Sprite. There should be a drinking game, but non-alcoholic drinking game of Sprite every time someone says Sprite. I'm just saying. If you do that, or if you mention it in your own video or podcast or to your friends, got to give me some credit there. Do a Sprite game. Anyhow. Sprite. Talk about spoiled. This one's spoiled. You have Druig. I loved this character, and I thought that his chemistry with Makari, the deaf actress and deaf character, was incredible. I could feel that teenage. I know they're not teenagers, but that around that age, very young, I could feel that love. I could feel that passion, that connection those two had. It was palpable. It was good. And then you have Phastos and his family. You have Thena, played by Angelina Jolie, wonderfully with perfect hair. She had that Barbie hair that didn't move at all. Actually, it did move. It kind of like blew in the wind and then went back to perfect shape. Man, can you imagine the hair designers and, and the makeup on that set? They were constantly making sure that hair flowed the proper way. And then you have the infamous Ikaris. Very handsome Ikaris. And you have, I know I'm missing someone. Am I missing someone? Oh, of course, Kingo. How can I forget